You have never met Taylor Swift. You have never spoken to her. You have never been in the same room as her. But when you heard she got married, you felt something. Some people felt happy for her. Some people felt genuinely sad. Some people, especially women who had grown up with her music, felt something closer to loss, like watching a close friend choose a life that no longer includes you. And here is what makes that strange. She does not know you exist. But your brain, your actual brain, did not register that fact. That feeling was completely real. Your brain did not know the difference between her wedding and a friend's wedding, and it never will. This is not about Taylor Swift. This is about what your brain has been doing to you, without your permission, every single time you follow someone online. Scientists have a name for what happened to you when you saw that wedding news. They call it a parasocial relationship. And it is one of the most powerful and least understood psychological forces shaping your life right now. Let me show you what is actually happening inside your brain. In 1956, two researchers named Horton and Wohl made a discovery that nobody took seriously at the time. They were studying how audiences responded to television personalities. And they noticed something strange. People were talking about TV hosts as if they knew them personally. Not as celebrities, as friends. They called this a parasocial interaction. Para, meaning alongside. A relationship that exists alongside real life, but only on one side. You know them. They do not know you exist. In 1956, this was a curiosity, a small quirk of the television age. Nobody could have predicted what would happen when the entire world put a screen in every pocket, every hand, every bedroom. Because here is what neuroscience has now confirmed. Your brain has no filter for this. None. The same neural circuits that activate when you interact with a real friend, they activate when you watch your favorite creator. The same oxytocin that bonds you to people you love. It releases when you feel connected to someone on a screen. The same dopamine hit you get from a real conversation. You get it from a parasocial one. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a real relationship and a parasocial one. And it was never designed to. Here is why. For almost all of human history, if you saw a face regularly, heard a voice regularly, knew someone's name, knew their habits and their opinions, that person was in your tribe. They were real. They were close. They were someone you needed to maintain a relationship with to survive. Your brain evolved one simple rule. Familiarity equals relationship. And for 200,000 years, that rule worked perfectly. Then we invented screens. And we broke the rule without telling your brain. Think about Taylor Swift for a moment. Millions of people know what she looks like when she cries. They know her favorite things. They know her past relationships, every one of them. They have followed her journey from a teenager with a guitar to one of the most famous humans alive. That is years of familiarity, years of emotional investment, years of your brain quietly filing her under, people I know. So when something significant happens in her life, a wedding, a breakup, a loss, your brain does not process it as news about a stranger. It processes it as news about someone close to you, and your emotional system responds accordingly. This is why some people celebrated her wedding like it was their own friend getting married. And this is why some people, particularly women who grew up with her music through heartbreak, confusion, and becoming, felt something that looked a lot like grief. Because to their brain, someone from their inner world had moved on. Not a stranger, someone familiar, someone trusted, someone who had been there, even if only through a screen, during some of the most important moments of their lives. This is not weakness. This is not delusion. This is your ancient brain doing exactly what it was built to do, in a world it was never built for. But here is where it gets more complicated. Researchers have now found that parasocial relationships are not just emotionally real, they are physically real. Studies show that parasocial bonds can genuinely reduce feelings of loneliness. They can provide a real sense of belonging. They can even improve mood and reduce anxiety in the short term. This is why people who lose a beloved creator, through death, cancellation, or simply quitting, report genuine grief. Not dramatic grief, real grief. Documented by researchers. Measured in brain scans. Indistinguishable from the grief of losing a real relationship. Your brain genuinely believed that person was part of your life, and when they disappeared, a real part of your social world went with them. Now here is the part nobody talks about. Parasocial relationships have a dark side, because while your brain is building these one-sided bonds, it is also making a quiet trade you never agreed to. Research published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found something alarming. People who invest heavily in parasocial relationships show reduced motivation to pursue real ones. The brain gets enough social stimulation from the screen, enough familiarity, enough connection, or what feels like connection. And so the drive to do the harder work of building real relationships weakens. You scroll instead of calling. You watch instead of going out. You follow instead of showing up. And your brain tells you that you are not lonely, because it genuinely believes you have people. But those people do not know you exist, and that is the trap. Remember what the Harvard Happiness Study found, the longest study of human life ever conducted. The single strongest predictor of a long, healthy, happy life was not money. Not achievement, not status. It was the warmth of real relationships. Real, not parasocial. Real relationships, where someone actually knows your name. Where someone would pick up at 3 a.m. Where the connection goes both ways. And the researchers were explicit. You can be surrounded by parasocial stimulation, followers, feeds, favorite creators, and still be profoundly alone. Because your brain is being fed a simulation of connection, not the real thing. So here is the question you actually need to sit with. How much of your social world is real? And how much is parasocial? When did you last have a conversation that required you to be fully present? Not a comment, not a reaction emoji, a real conversation. Because here is what neuroscience now understands. Parasocial relationships do not satisfy the social needs that real relationships meet. They reduce loneliness temporarily, the same way junk food reduces hunger temporarily. It works, for a while, but it does not nourish you. And the more you rely on it, the less appetite you have for the real thing. Millions of people right now felt something when Taylor Swift got married, and almost none of them stopped to ask, why did I feel that? What does it mean that a stranger's wedding reached inside my chest? What has my brain been quietly building without me ever noticing? You are not broken for having parasocial relationships. Every human brain does this now. But you are living in a world that is deliberately designed to feed those connections, while slowly starving the real ones. Every algorithm, every notification, every perfectly timed upload is engineered to make you feel close to someone who does not know you. And your ancient brain, the one built for a tribe of 150 people on a savanna, has no defense against it. So the next time you feel something for a stranger on a screen, notice it. Do not shame it, but notice it. And then ask yourself, is there someone real in your life who deserves that same emotional energy? Someone who actually knows your name? Someone who would notice if you disappeared? Because that person, not the one on the screen, is what your brain actually needs. And somewhere in your life right now, they are waiting for you to show up.